Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing great today. I will just talk to you very quickly about this upcoming eclipse on the 4th or the 5th of July, depending on where you are in the world. And yeah, I hope it will serve you to clarify the intention that you can put before the event or during the event so that you can take advantage of this astrological event for your own growth, for your own transformation. And yeah, so I hope it is helpful. And this is also because I don't think we can be just reacting to the events that happen outside of us anymore. We are really looking at manifestations that we have all created in a way or another, and it doesn't matter now to understand how that happened, but I think it's important to know that we can participate in the creation of new things, right? Of new events, of new circumstances for all of us. So yeah, that's why I do these videos, and I hope you enjoy them. Anyway, so the following eclipse is a lunar eclipse. So it's like a big lunation. It's a big full moon. It's an amplified full moon. And what full moon does normally is to amplify our emotions. And there's really no coincidence that the first card that shows kind of the general energy of the month, right, of the eclipse is the card of Mem, or the letter of Mem. And Mem is talking about well, it's always related to the water element. The water element is related to our emotions, and it is also talking about purification. And 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 getting in contact with our emotions help us also to kind of know where we are, know what we are feeling in regards to a certain subject, to clarify where we are going, to clarify if we are choosing something out of fear, or if we are choosing something just because we are really happy, let's say, to choose that, or because we think that is the best thing for us. So, and I think especially during this time, the unveiling of fear will be very important. So to kind of see our life and realize what are the choices or the places where I react on fear more than anything else, and how we react to that. So really it's like a place. This lunar eclipse is it's an event where we are asked and we have the opportunity to dive into this ocean of our own emotions. And if that kind of steers some reaction in you, just pay attention to that, because probably this is a theme for you, probably something that you are not very used to do, and you are called to do that. You are called to really pay attention to your emotions, to really just feel and not trying to avoid feeling. And I think this is also a time where we have all been, the past 3 months, probably, especially in Europe, we have been quiet. Maybe also if you live in the Americas, you are quiet right now. You're still in that process. And it has been kind of a difficult time, but because we are forced to actually listen to those waters, to really go and dive deep into the water. So it is really also a place where we can just take a note on where we are and be conscious also about what is ours, what emotions are ours, and what emotions are from the collective. It is important sometimes to separate so that you are not confused. And of course, we are all part of that collective too, but it's important so that you know whenever there's something that you need to sort out, or it is something that is like a surf, like a wave from the collective that you just need to kind of like ride and just let it die eventually when it will, right? So that's why it's important sometimes to notice when something is our issue, our emotion, or it is a wave of emotion that is just kind of traveling throughout the collective and we can just feel it. And that happened just last week, something like that. I think after the other eclipse, I had like 2 or 3 days that I was really completely, let's say, in the emotion of the collective. And it was really intense, let's say. But it's okay. After it passes, you can feel calmer. You are probably even better. I would say you're more grounded and you can feel clearer about what you are doing in the world. So yeah, that's why it's important for us to kind of note these differences, these boundaries. So then the second letter is, or the second card is the purpose of this event. What is yeah, the purpose of this event, but not just from a, let's say, from a human point of view, but from an evolutionary point of view. So what is it in a spiritual way? And this is the card of Aleph. So the purpose is um, the union or the integration. And the union and the integration, we are talking about if we don't know something, we cannot really integrate it. If we do not know something, if there's something we have never seen or get acquainted with, we are not. It's not possible for us to bring it into the light with the rest of the aspects of ourselves and bring it into our life, right? So the the purpose of this event is really to bring integration into our life by, while Mem was saying, bringing those elements, those emotions that we were not aware of, those pieces of us that we were not aware of ourselves that were hidden, let's say, in these emotions, we are now seeing them and we can put them on the table, right? And when we are purifying, also that's another aspect, when we are purifying an emotion, when we are, and by purifying, it means that we are actually feeling the emotion and allowing that emotion, that energy in motion, to really extinguish itself, to really go through our system and then extinguish itself. So when we do that, the energy that was feeding a certain reaction, so we had a reaction and that was the emotion. And the energy that we feed into that reaction, that's the emotion. And when we stop that, when that is over, when that is not kind of there in the back because we don't know, we have never really touched it, finally that reaction is over. And finally, also we kind of break the vicious circle that is actually feeding probably the external circumstance that we were reacting to, or many different circumstances, but we were reacting in the same way all the time, right? So we were creating those circumstances over and over again. So that knowing of those emotions can help us to break that vicious circle. And yeah, that's basically Aleph. And lastly, we have what is the result of this process, of the process of the eclipse. And that will be the card of Aleph, Bet, sorry. And the letter of Bet is talking about the house, but it's talking about the house like the inner home. It's more the home than the house. It can be a physical house, but especially talking about the inner home. That place where we feel at home with ourselves, when we feel good in our skin, is coming back to really feel at ease with us, with our own company. When there's some emotion that we have not acknowledged, when we have not felt, it's always like this jumpy energy. We feel kind of nervous about something. There's always, we are trying to kind of escape that aspect of us, that 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 part of ourselves. And finally, when we stop and we have the courage to acknowledge that, to feel that, and to kind of not just purge that and purify that, but really kind of acknowledge that. That was what Aleph was doing. We are finally able to kind of rest inside our own self, and that goes really beyond that to talk about the eternal home. So the home, the travel, the journey back to the source. So that to the source inside of us, to the part of us that is that has been created just as God, if you want to call it that way, or the source, or the universe, or the creator, or Binah, or whatever name you want to put there. It's just going back to knowing that we are that too. We are not just a lump of meat that just landed here, and we have just to, let's say, put up with everything that is going on around us, and we have we cannot do anything about it. So it is not the case. We can do something about it, and they are showing us this way. The important thing I would say is to really put an intention, to clear your intention during or at the beginning of this event, so that you can actually receive the help from your guides, from whomever you believe that is with you in the spiritual realms, helping you, so that they can also provide you with hints and signals. It can be a video, or it can be something that you read, or something, or a friend, or there are plenty of ways in which you can hear these messages, let's say, and so that you can identify that emotion or how you feel about a certain aspect of your life that you want to change. And you don't have to worry about to know which one is going to be, which aspect of your life is going to be, or which aspect you need to know about, because it's going to be highlighted big time. You're going to know what I'm talking about, because it's going to be amplified, your emotions related to that aspect. But just ask for help, clarify your intention, so that you can take advantage of this wonderful opportunity we have to integrate something else and to also feel at home. And more than ever, I think it's important also to feel at home inside yourself, because the world outside we see is crumbling down. The institutions and the organizations and the structures that were normally we were relying on that for our own peace of mind, or to give us some sort of feeling of home. We don't have those anymore. They are just not there. They are kind of, they will continue to vanish. So we will first need to kind of have a very solid inner home, inner connection, so that we can eventually also participate in the creation of new structures that kind of are a reflection of that peace inside of us, so that we can create really something new. Anyway, I hope this finds you well. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and see you next time. Bye-bye.